In the wake of numerous sexual assault and harassment allegations against Harvey Weinstein, women and men have become emboldened by the voices of his accusers and are coming forward with allegations of sexual misconduct in what is being referred to as the Weinstein ripple effect. Ken, do you think this rise in courage will have a lasting effect on Americans, and is it an opportune time to get back at somebody you want to get back at?
So to answer the first part of your question, I sure hope that it continues as far as giving people courage. But with that said, you have to take some of these accusations with a grain of salt, because you're going to have the syndrome of where someone's going to say, oh, you know what, everybody's jumping on this right now, and such did something wrong to me a long time ago, and and I'm not talking necessarily actually did anything sexual harassment or assault, but oh, hey, somebody got me upset a long time ago, I'm going to get back at them and make these false accusations. You have to watch for that, unfortunately. But with that said, gosh, I sure hope that it does give people more courage to come forward, because there is still a lot of stigma about being sexually harassed. There's a lot of stigma about being sexually assaulted. And some of this has been men that are now coming forward and saying that they were sexually assaulted, and there's traditionally been a lot of stigma around that.
I mean, we have recent revelations regarding Kevin Spacey,
right,
the star of House of Cards, when he was 26 and the other young man was 14. Oh, well, it was a drunken induced stupor. If I did anything to offend him, I should apologize. I mean, come on. Alcohol's not the pass for what he did.
Right.
Do you think that in his last episodes there was a homosexual scene in the last couple of episodes of House of Cards?
Actually, my wife won't let me watch it because of the language.
Well, you're not very tall.
I'm just saying. I watched one episode and the language was so vile. She said, "Don't ever put that on again," and I have to honor her wishes.
I don't have a talk with her.
Ron, I've never seen you speechless. I mean, but we go back to Corey Feldman.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Let's focus. We can throw Bill Cosby into the mix of what he's done.
How about Donald Trump?
Do you have something on him that the rest of the world doesn't? Okay.
Do we all have it? Yes.
I mean, there have not been substantiated allegations against him that have been litigated.
Oh, that's been litigated.
That have been
so
litigated.
Now we're going to play on words. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, you can play with whatever words you want to, Ron.
That's fine.
But Corey Feldman was pounding his drum about this decades ago.
Right.
Okay, and he lost a close friend, who committed suicide because of this action. I'm hoping that the people who have been preaching morals to this country for the last 25 years, they actually start to be accountable for the morals that the type of life they live.
Do you mean clergy? You mean the Jimmy Swaggars and Jim Bakkers and those people?
You pick whatever religious affiliation you want. And I'm not going to target a Jimmy Swaggart or Jim Bakker or even the Catholic Church. I'm not going to do that. But I think we need to start to hold adults accountable for their actions.
Across the board?
Across the board, including teachers who have, actions with minors. I think there needs to be...
Corporate America?
Corporate America, yes. County government, state government. All of this. Not that I know anything about county or state government doing anything.
And federal government.
Oh, federal, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Count those guys.
Yes.
And gals.
Okay.
That's a can of worms I don't think we want to open right now.
Ron just keeps digging a little deeper. Here we go.
A lot of interesting things, though. I mean, and do you know who was the person that willing to get him out of the Weinstein Corporation? His brother.
Well, nothing
Bob.
like brotherly love.
So
remember
then,
Cain and Abel.
Yeah. And then what happens to his brother? He's one of the 15 people they say is the 15 most powerful people in the country. He's on the list now.
Well, and then look at the shooter in Vegas. His brother is on, he had the child porn things going on. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's really, there's a deviant behavior in this society. The molestation of minors is not acceptable. The couch play that, the casting couch that we're talking about is not acceptable in society. But it's gone on for 100 years. Go back to the old annals of Hollywood. Do you remember when they had the cameras out there and they had to spin to? Yes. Okay. So you understand what went on back then.
We have to be careful, though. All right?
Why?
We have to be careful.
As a political satire writer, or as a member of this?
Well, no,
panel?
I'm talking about we have to be careful with the accusations.
Okay.
All right. And the reason for that is that what was it? Comet Ping Pong Pizza Place down in D.C. where a guy, there was some conspiracy theory on the internet that Comet Ping Pong had
Hillary Clinton
sex slaves in the basement. All right, here they don't even have a basement, but a guy goes in there with a
Was that the Russian
with a
trolls
rifle.
that put that out on Facebook?
Yeah, who knows, right? It was definitely trolls. I don't know if they were Russian or not, but I mean, they put that, they put that on the internet that, hey, they've got, sex slaves in their basement. So some guy goes in there and says, I'm tired of, the authorities not acting on this. He goes in there with a rifle and takes the whole place hostage, and all over an internet rumor that, didn't have any credibility.
But he
behind
didn't do it in the basement.
There wasn't any basement for him to find.
Well, the only thing we can be thankful for is what social media has brought to our society.
Right.
Okay, you can.
How responsible are they? When will they be held responsible?
Well, that's a good question, Ron. When are we going to hold them responsible?
And who?
There's a separation between freedom of speech and eliciting, criminal acts. And sometimes people might just, Ken's a good satire writer. But no one really truly believes that there is an alligator swimming in City Park. Well, maybe one or two.
I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
But you know what, though? You know what? No, that's a great point, though, because there is a fine line that you have to walk. All right, and I do walk that line very carefully with my satire. All right, I make sure that does it pass a test? Okay, is this truly believable? Probably not if you take and analyze it in depth. At the surface, some of the stuff they think immediately is believable, though.
Well, now, take for an example. Here's a sheet of paper. This sheet of paper can be something that I was given. I have the right to free speech to talk to you. How do I know what's on this is accurate? A Facebook page can come out, an ad on a Facebook page can come out. You can actually transfer it to somebody else, share it to your
From the DNC
600
Russian
people.
dossier.
It doesn't make any difference which one it is. Is that freedom of speech? Taking this piece of paper and moving it out, or what you say that you put together yourself? I don't call this freedom of speech. Copying what somebody just said on Facebook isn't freedom of speech for you, or is it? I don't know.
I say it is not, only for the simple fact that it's privately owned.
By whom?
The Facebook owns
They
it.
paid for
Therefore,
it in rubles.
they have control over
They
it.
paid for it in rubles. Okay. So is it owned by Facebook, or is it owned by the troll that put it out?
Actually, I think if you look at your privacy statement, Facebook owns the right to what you put up, including your images and everything else.
Do they have a right to take it down?
Yes.
Yes. they do.
Absolutely.
Now, does that get into censorship? If you put something up that you don't think,
As long as it's a private entity taking it down instead of the government order being taken down, I have no issue with it.
Ken, you've had the last word. Next up on the flip side, 7 in 10 Americans say the nation's political divisions are at least as big as during the Vietnam War. We'll find out why in 3 minutes.